Good morning, stars. We hope you had a great time off. I have a lot of birthdays to cover for the time we've been off, starting with Olivia from Mrs. Weary's room, Ethan from Mrs. Brandenstein's 5th grade, Eli from Mrs. Mulkey's kindergarten, Annalise from Mrs. Belt's kindergarten class, Hayden from Mrs. Newcomer's 6th grade class, Jacob from Mrs. Weber's class, Grant from Mrs. Bippus's class, Carter from Mrs. Newcomer's class, Hannah from Mrs. Colley's preschool, Samuel from Mrs. Scheller's class, Nicholas from Mrs. Wells' class, Xander from Mrs. Oakley's class, Braden from Mrs. Brandenstein's 5th grade class, and Olivia from Mrs. Brandenstein's 5th grade class, Adeline from Mr. Lee's class, Sierra from Mrs. Deer's class, Grady from Mrs. Velker's class, Madeline from Mrs. Bippus's class, Elizabeth from Mrs. Williams, as well as London and Ryder from Mrs. Williams, Iris from Mrs. Colley, Faith from Mrs. Deer's class, Mackenzie from Mrs. Griffin's class, and Landon from my class. Happy belated birthdays to all of you. And now for today, we have Zaylin from Mrs. Newcomer's class, Jace from Mrs. Newcomer's class, and Jillian from Mrs. Newcomer's class. Happy birthday. And now some important announcements from Mrs. McMunn.
Hello! I'm glad that we're getting started finally with virtual learning this week. Today's our first day of virtual learning. I have a few things that I want to remind you of and just kind of let you know how things are going to go. Your teachers have been working hard over the past week or two getting weekly units prepared for you. They're going to post all of the assignments on the first day of the week. Those are the assignments that you have to have had completed by the end of the week, so make sure that you space it out, manage your time wisely, and make sure that you can get as much practice in and everything to prepare for when we come back to school. Some other things to remember: don't forget that you have specials classes as well. You will need, once a week, you will have to do a PE lesson, an art lesson, and a music lesson. So make sure that you are clicking on those in Canvas as well to see what your assignment is. So as far as what my expectations are for you guys while you're at home, I know that sounds silly because I'm not at home with you, but what I want you all to do, I want you, of course, to keep up with practicing and everything with what your teachers are providing, but I also want you to help your moms or your grandmas or your aunts or wherever you are. I want you to help your moms. I want you to be kind to your siblings, all right? We're all cooped up and it's stressful, but I want you to be nice to your brothers and your sisters, whether they're older or younger, just to help out around the house. Probably the most important announcement that I had to make that I wanted everyone to be aware of is today's April the 6th, which means, guess what? You can wear shorts, finally. All right, we do have a few shout outs. We want to shout out to all of the essential workers that are in our community that are keeping everything going. And also a special shout out to St. Paul's Methodist Church for supplying meals for a lot of our students over the past few weeks. We want you all to remember, moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, everybody, that if you qualify for the meals that are being provided at the high school, make sure that you call so that you can arrange for pickup of those. Okay, I think we're ready for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We miss you guys like crazy. Have a good day.